Hello, assalamu alaikum, all you beautiful people out there. Welcome to a very, very, very special kind of video that I'm making for all of you guys that I wanted to make for a while, but I just couldn't, but I just didn't know how to do it. And so I'm making it now. This is a video especially for the Dean family in particular, is I'm going to be sharing with you guys my origin story about how I met the Dean family and how they became my favorite cousins in the entire world, and how much they mean to me and why I love them so much and how did everything get to this point and how the Dean family and me have worked so hard to be where we are today. So I'm gonna share my origin story about how I met the Dean family. So let's get started. Okay, so first let me get this let me get one thing out of the way first. I freaking love the Dean family. The Dean family are the closest people to my heart. I've always loved these people, and to this day, I will always have them in my heart. Meher, Seher, Dania, Taha, Nadia, Gori, Popo. They all remind me of everything beautiful in this world, and I will do anything for them, anything that's gonna make them happy and help them get through whatever they're going through. So here's my origin story about how it all happened. So we have to go back to the very beginning, and when I say beginning, I mean all the way to the beginning. So here we go. In 2004, April 9th, a little boy named Ali Shakir was born. And since I was a baby, all I wanted, my ultimate passion was always Spider-Man and like balls. And I always loved sharing how I feel about people who are very close to me, like my friends and family and stuff like that. And what really started all of this is my favorite dadi of all time. Atiyat dadi is the most closest person to my entire heart. God bless her beautiful soul, and may she live as long as she has. And inshallah, soon I pray I can be with her again. Atiyat dadi was always my favorite person in the entire family, and she was one of the first people who ever picked me up when I was a baby. And as the months kept progressing and I kept getting older, I used to see her more and more. I used to go to her house and like talk to her and kiss her and like hug her, and I loved her. And she will always have a special place in my heart. And as days went by, she was very special to me, and I used to go to her house every day and talk to her and see her, and all of that was very nice. And then initially and then what happened is, as I got older, I did the first time I ever met the Dean family was when I was around the age of maybe like 3, I think, when I went to Chicago for the first time. But I was way too young to like become friends or anything. I just remember that they were telling me something about they downloaded me a Spider-Man game on the laptop, and I used to play it. I mean, I don't even remember that, but it does sound like something that I would do, so I'm sure it's true. So after the first time I met them for the first time when I was just a baby, they took care of me for about a day or two. They talked to me and they were very kind and very sweet, and I always loved them, but I was too young to understand. Until I was around the age of 12 and I went to Batul or Marshall's wedding that took place. And the first Dean family member I ever met was Meher. Meher was the first one I ever met. And in the early days on the wedding, we were just like, we would see each other almost every single day. We would talk to each other. We would say hi, how you're doing, how's life, and this and that. And that was all very nice until I believe on the third wedding day, there was a dance session that was happening, and I was very, very nervous. And Meher was like the coolest person ever. Like she was so talented and funny and smart and stubborn, and she had such cool dance moves. And like I had like so much affection for her, and I was so nervous to explain how I felt to her. I was so scared until the dance class took place, and then I went a little more further in the group, and then I saw Meher. And that is when me and Meher had our first official dance, that dance. And I was so happy and surprised that I was dancing with the person who I loved so much, and became such close friends with. So our dance, mine and Meher's dance, was around the first time when me and Meher really got like became closer and closer to friends. And on the second day is when I met Seher and Danya and Taha for the first time, and they were all very, very sweet. Meher was like the most stubbornly awesome member that I knew. She was smart, she's beautiful, she's funny, and she was so cool. And it was just awesome. And Seher was like the sweetest person ever. She was so nice and kind and treated everyone with such love. And Danya was like the sweetest person, like the sweetest soul on earth ever. And they all were very sweet. And that's when we sort of became friends after I met all of them. And then when I found out that they're actually Atidali's grandchildren, that made them even closer and closer to my heart. I was so surprised. And once I found out this information, I used to go to their house before they went back to Chicago, and we would talk and we had snacks together. It was super fun. And and then on the last day before they left for Chicago, Goya Popo, her mom, made me promise that I will do everything in my power to help Atiya Dadi get through this. And after they went back to Chicago. I was the one who was taking care of Atiya Dadi all the time, every day after school for a few hours, just to make them proud, because that's all I wanted, was just for them to be happy and proud. And that's that's what started that's what happened. And then as many months went by, I got into superheroes and comic books, and I decided to write stories about the Dean family, putting them into characters like Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man, Superman, Captain America, whatever, and writing stories about them. And they all were very, very successful. And then I decided to continue this journey because it was taking me to great places. And that's pretty awesome. And then what happened is, on my 16th birthday, the Dean family sent the most beautiful birthday message ever, that featured Seher, Taha, Meher, and then Danya at the end. And I was so touched, and I was so happy to see their beautiful smiles and their beautiful faces. And I decided to become a filmmaker. And then as many more months went by, I finally did get a chance in contact with the Dean family. I got their numbers, and we yeah, and Seher was the first person who I was always like texting and like sending her like the sweetest messages possible. And that's how our friendship became very, very big. And that's where it continued. And after Seher, many more months went by, and I was really, really close to her, and we became like brothers and sisters. And that was great. And then after that, I decided to make a group with the Dean family that was called the Dean family, that had Meher, Seher, Danya, Taha, Nadia, and Goya Papu all in a group. And we have shared so much love on this group, and we are now officially a family. And that's initially the story. That's how I became in love with the Dean family, because they were there since the beginning, and all I wanted was to just tell them how much I care about them. And at this point, we're closer than ever. And I became very protective of them. Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for them. And that continues to the day. The Dean family and me have always loved each other, really. I mean, it's always been something that's like, I don't know, kinship. And and that was pretty much the whole story. And and to this day, I will always continue to do my best to make the Dean family proud. And I can't even remember my life without these beautiful angels by my side. And I hope that wherever the future will take them will all work out, and inshallah they'll have the most successful life possible. And yeah, Dean family will always be in my heart. So bless you guys. Thank you for listening to my story. It was a great, this whole journey that me and the Dean family have been on. This is not the end. This is only the beginning of something much, much bigger. And much more love will be made for both of us. And to this day, I will always support them and love them. And yeah, that's my story. That's how I met the Dean family, and that's how they became as close to me as they are. And inshallah, sometime soon, when I see them again, I can be with them and tell them how much I care. But until then, I want to say I will always have you guys in my heart. Love you all.